Pranav. This video is about why you should quit gaming. A little bit of context. I used to be a lifelong gamer from ages 5 to 16. I managed to quit in January of 2023 all the way until about July, August. After that, it was summer vacation. I had way too much time on my hands. I slipped up and fell back into those bad habits. After that, taking it for another 6 months, felt the sharp contrast between not having to play any video games at all, being completely addicted once more, and I quit for good in January in this year, 2024. I haven't touched a game since. That's why I'm qualified to talk about this, because I'm just sharing my experience of, one, being addicted to the point where I could do nothing else or look forward to doing absolutely nothing else but playing a video game. Two, I've seen what life has to offer when you quit and break free. And what I have to say is that gaming is absolutely a digital drug. It's a complete waste of time. I've stopped and I've had so much more time to do things in my day. I don't have to worry about trying to figure out when I should play or arrange my day around my gaming habits. When it's out of my life, there's no more trying to spend 12 hours a day just playing a game, go outside for like 10 minutes, come back, or struggling with habits that keep snowballing into bigger and bigger mistakes. For example, I was playing a game in August of last year, near the tail end of my summer vacation, and one day I started playing for 2 hours. Next day I played for another 2 hours, but then by the third day it bumped up to 4.5. The day after that, 8 to 9 hours straight. The only reason that this happened was because the game was just designed to pull you and make you want to play more and more and more, because there was a sense of becoming a warrior, escapism into the fact that video game makes you feel like you are someone when you're not. That's a really powerful feeling, because everybody has these pain points where they're not perfect enough, they're not strong enough, they're not awesome enough, cool enough, liked enough, loved enough, whatever it may be. And a video game can hit those pain points so well. It gave me speed bump sized challenges that I could easily clear, and they gradually got harder and harder. Like if you ever played a Dark Souls game, the bosses get harder as you progress through the game, but it's just, you're becoming a warrior. You started from nothing, right? Not so much different from your actual life, isn't it? Like you're just kind of a bum in real life, but in a video game, you start off as a bum too, but you're in a different world where nobody knows you, nobody knows who you are, right? You suddenly go from level 1 to level 100 in a Dark Souls game. You're fighting the final bosses. They're extremely difficult. They're monsters. There's dragons. But you're the warrior who's coming in and you're just killing all of them. You're the number one in the world, or it makes you feel like you've truly accomplished something when you have done absolutely nothing of value at all. I've never heard of anyone really say, yeah, I'm so happy that I played video games my entire life and like I spent all this time when I could have been doing something else. I already said this, but it still is true. There's no real merit to playing a video game. Some people say it's good for leisure, but there are better things to do. You could read a book, go outside, play with your friends, like hang out, whatever, right? But a video game, it's not truly honest with you. You say you're playing it for leisure. It has an ulterior motive of keeping you on the game and making you spend a lot of hours within it. And then when you start to finish the game and you look at the developers' other games, you're like, oh, they made a really good game. Now I should buy this one. Now I'm going to play all of this. It's like, this game has 100 hours of free content. It's like, wow, that's so much for me to play. But have you actually thought about it that that's 100 hours of your life that you're wasting? You know, I'm a writer. I write fiction, right? That's what I want. That's something I really enjoy doing. But for me, if I had, say, about 80 hours of deep work or just focused work in general, I could probably get around 250 pages of a manuscript done. That's like half a book. So I could do that, which is something that I really find fulfilling. Building something up from scratch, which is genuinely difficult, but it's a challenge that keeps me going, that forces me to innovate and build upon what I already know. I could do that, or I could play like Elden Ring and play that for 500 hours, right? Like my friend has said, he's played Elden Ring for 500 hours and he still hasn't reached the end. So think about it. I could do 500 hours of Elden Ring and still not be done, make myself feel like, wow, this is so awesome. Like, this world's amazing. I'm killing all these guys. I'm a warrior. there's a community, all these people are like similar, like-minded people, like this is awesome. And then I could write a book in 500 hours. That's 250 times 5. That's over 1,000 pages of written work. I could have 2 novels done by that time compared to playing a video game. Like, the video game's not actually doing anything for you. It's wasting your time. But video games are escapism. There's no other way to put it. You're delving into the virtual world to escape the reality of the present, to numb your pain of not being good enough, not being great enough, or using it as escapism to avoid these difficult situations in your life, to avoid actually improving and becoming the sort of person who you know you could become, who you know you could achieve with your like limitless potential. But a video game, it's comfortable, it's easy, it's mediocre. Like if you play video games, you're choosing a mediocre action, and what does that reflect on you? You're probably a bit of a mediocre person in that respect, at least, right? Playing video games, you have no reason to be doing it. Like you could be making your life a better, more fulfilling, a happier sort of thing to be living, but instead you're choosing to play video games and wasting, like to waste your time, really. Because I don't understand, why are people playing video games, or why do you want to play video games when you know you still have huge goals that you want to work towards? Like I'm young, doesn't change the fact that the actions I take right now are probably the most powerful that they're ever going to be in life, right? The beliefs I have now, the choices that I make, they're like a tree growing up from ground, the earth. Right now, it's kind of malleable. Like it can shift, it could be rooted up, my life could completely change. But the habits I instill in myself now are what's going to turn into a bigger and bigger tree, to the point where by my 40s, my habits are probably going to be like a big oak tree. I could still be an open person. I could still reinvent myself, whatever the hell that means, right? But like for the most part, a lot of my stuff is going to be harder to change than it is at my age. So then there's these people who are playing video games right now who have no plans of ever stopping at all in their lives. Like, where is that going to lead eventually? Think about the choices that compound that I'm making. For example, not playing video games. Where does that sort of choice compound? Like, I don't see a negative to that, where, oh, I didn't play video games and I didn't become an online warrior. My life is so much worse for it. Compared to, yeah, I spent at least 4,000 hours on Sea of Thieves or something, became the world's top, and like 30 years later, I'm still addicted to video games. I still play every day, and I could have done so much more with my life. I spent about 10,000 hours doing something I'm okay at. It's not really great, but I played for 10,000 hours, and it was kind of sort of pleasurable for the first 1,000. Now it was kind of just a waste of time. Like, who's going to be more happy with the choices that they made? The person who played 10,000 hours of video games, or the person who established good habits, quit the game early, and worked on making themselves better? Like, where do you see these two people compounding their actions, and where do you see them ending up? Who do you think is going to be more successful? Who do you think is going to be happier, have a better relationship with his family? Who's more confident, has better friends, has a life? What do you think the outcome of that is going to be? You can probably answer those for yourself, and there's not really a right answer, but there's kind of an obvious answer where you know the truth. And video games may be kind of pleasurable, but they're not helping you in the slightest. They are a complete waste of time. You should stop playing video games because you are capable of so much more in your life. If you have priorities that you want to hit, if you want to hit financial freedom, if you want to publish a novel, if you want to become a pro athlete, like you don't have time to be playing video games at the age you are at. Accomplish your big goals, accomplish everything you want in your life, right? And then maybe then a video game's not that bad because you've already hit everything you need to. You've reached your potential, if such a thing is even possible. Reach your potential. From there, a video game is a complete choice. It's not escapism. It's not covering up your pain points. You've achieved. Now maybe you can have a reward. But until then, like, what the hell are you doing? Get off the game and do something to make your life better. Alright, peace.